In this video, we're going to undertake the head joint timber design. Excuse me. So we're in Fusion, and you can see on the left hand side here the way I have some of my folders set up. So you set up your own folders to your own taste, either using the new folder, or you can go home. Here's a whole range of folders, and here are the folders for this flute exercise. Now, to take back your screen, just hide the data panel and you increase your working area. So your screen should look like this now, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to assemble a new component. So this new component needs a name, and we'll call it head joint timber. Standard is fine. Now, over here, you can see our new component has shown up, and what's important is this little black dot. You always want to remember that if that, wherever that dot is selected, whichever component is selected or activated, it is into that component all your sketches will be saved. So we haven't created any other components yet, but as the project develops, we will be adding all the other components in here. Now, every component carries with it its own geometry. The origin point, you can see it coming up in the middle of the screen. I'll do that again. The origin point, the x-axis, the y-axis, the z-axis, and then three planes, x, y, and that's a very faint grey in the middle of my screen, the xz, and the yz. And for the purposes of this exercise, we're going to use the yz plane as the principal plane. You can use any one you want. The Fusion doesn't care. It simply uses the planes to construct the internal geometries of the objects you create. So we'll select the YZ plane, and we'll go to create, and we can click on that, and we can say create sketch, or we can simply click on that icon, which does exactly the same thing. So we want the YZ plane. Now you can see that the plane doesn't face you, it's sort of facing to the right hand side. There's the origin, there's the x-axis, the y-axis, the z-axis. So if you're in any doubt as to where you are, which way you're facing, just go back over here and this will tell you. When you're drawing anything and you want to use the origin as the principal location for the object you're drawing, it's often a good idea to go and click on look at, and watch what happens when I do that. I'm now looking square on at the drawing grid, and what that's good for is when I decide to create a center diameter circle, so create a circle, and I'm going to use the center diameter circle, and I don't think I create, no, I don't create any other kinds of circles in this exercise. So it creates a circle using a center point and a diameter. And the center point we're going to always use is the origin. Now keep an eye on the cursor. When I'm out and about, I have a plus sign or a north and south compass with a little arrow in it. When I hit a point of the grid, you can see the way a little blue square comes around the cursor. That means when I click that, it's going to anchor to that point. So I want it to anchor to the origin. You can see the way I get the little blue rectangle. Now, if you don't have that rectangle, you're not placing the center of the circle on the origin, and things will get out of alignment on you and will give you all sorts of grief and heartache later on. So one of the most important things when you're drawing a circle is know where you're putting the center point. So we'll click on that. And we're going to create a circle which is a diameter of 26.5 millimeters. And we finish the sketch. Now the circle is looking straight at you. So what I always do is I go up here to the location dice and I click on the home. Now I'm going to extrude that. Now extrude just simply turns the flat disc into a cylinder. I'm going to make that 4 millimeters. Done. Now I'm going to set about creating all the sketches I need to build the rest of the head joint cylinder. So I'm going to select that face. I'm going to create another sketch. Now it's on this face. Now I'm going to look at you can just about see the blue rectangle. I will make this 27.5. Return. We go home and we finish sketch. You always have to finish sketch. And now we're going to extrude. Now you can see that there are a range of faces here. So when you click on a face, the selected area will turn blue. Now I could extrude that, but I'd get a hollow cylinder. So I want to take this as well, so I click on that as well. You don't have to hold down the shift key. Am I going in the right direction? Yeah, that's great. So you can see that the little box with the number 7 in it is highlighted. And I want to extrude that circle 152 millimeters. And you can see a big piece of it has gone off the screen, so let's go home. Now I need another 4 millimeters just there, so I create a sketch, create a circle. Now, doing it like this without looking at can cause you all sorts of problems if you don't put it exactly, the cursor exactly at the center. And we want that to be 26.5. And we finish the sketch. And we'll extrude. And we want that to be 4 millimeters. So let's save the work. Now, what we have is, if you like, the blank turned down with the main body and a little offset there for the silver rings, the reinforcing rings that I'll be putting on later on. Now we want to bore out the blank. And there's 2 bores in this. One of them is, I think it's 19 mil, and the other one is 20 mil. And it doesn't matter what order you actually do them in. So